and who are free from all sins achieve liberation in the Supreme. Is it clear, Mataji? Hare Krishna.
Yeah, kind of. I don't know about others. Maybe my internet is having a problem. So right
No,
now,
my
I
net
don't know.
was. Shall I read again, Mataji?
Yeah, please, please.
Yeah. Those who are beyond the dualities that arise from doubts, whose minds are engaged within, who are always busy working for the welfare of all living beings, and who are free from all sins, achieve liberation in the Supreme. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So the Lord has spoken so many things so far, right? About how a self-realized person can seek happiness within, inside. Usually we are searching for happiness outside. Lord Krishna is trying to tell us how we can seek pleasure inside us. After telling all that, now what Lord is trying to talk about is talking about some symptoms. Whoever is seeking pleasure within, how does he look like? We will be also very curious, right? Okay, he's having very much happiness inside his heart. How does that person look like? What does he, how does he behave? What is he? So here, that is what Lord Krishna is trying to explain to us. He says, Chindvaida. Chindvaida means what? Chinna. Chinna means all the doubts. Dveda means the doubts. They are all removed. One who has risen above the dualities means he is not having that pleasure, pain, good, bad. He's above all that. Yatatmanaha. Yatatmanaha means he's engaged. His mind is yata. Yata means completely engaged. In what? Sarva bhuta hiterataha. He is always engaged. He's always busy working. Working for whom? He has to work for somebody, right? Working for whom? Sarva bhuta means all the living entities, all the living beings. Then it is said that what happens? Rishaya kshina kalmashaha means he is free from all the sins. Kalmash. Kalmash means all the pollution, contamination. He is free from that. He's Rishaya kshina. Kshina means goes down. All the kalmashas goes down. He is free from all the kalmasha. That kind of a person. So symptoms. What kind of symptoms is he? His doubts are all clear. He's above the dualities. He's completely engaged in taking care of all the living entities, completely engaged in that, and all his sins are completely gone down. So such a person, what will he labhante? What will he gain? What will he get? What will he achieve? What will he achieve? Labhante Brahma Nirvana. He will attain Brahma Nirvana, means supreme. So you can see that. So what are the symptoms of such a person in this? Lord is trying to explain to us that he is Chindvedan. There is no doubt at all. He doesn't have any doubts. He is beyond the dualities. He is beyond pleasure and pain. Yatatmana sarva bhuta hiterata. He is completely engaged. Engaged in what? Sarva bhuta hiterata. Hita. Hita means to be helpful for somebody, for doing something good. Good for whom? Sarva bhuta. All the human beings. And then all his sins are completely gone, down, kshina, gone. And what is he going to achieve? Labhante what? Brahma Nirvana. He's completely attaining the Supreme. So this is such a great verse, because from this we will understand what are the symptoms and how we can also get it. We are trying to learn. All of us are trying to learn. In the previous verse, Lord Krishna explained, right, how the sages are, what is their state, how do they experience, the sages who experience the pleasure of God within themselves, right? This is what Lord Krishna had explained. How? So now he's telling us the symptoms also. So in this verse, he's describing the state of those sages, those people who are completely actively engaged in the welfare of all the beings, every being. They're completely engaged. It's not that they're sitting in Himalayas. Human welfare is also very praiseworthy here. Lord Krishna is explaining. But welfare schemes, if it is committed only to bodily care, then it is not correct. Then it will give you temporary result. It should not be, okay, I help him, then he will help me, and then I will gain something out of it. No. Sadhu Purush, gurus, I'm sorry. When you go to gurus, they help you, right? They give you advice. If you have any problem, you go discuss with gurus and all. They help you, but not for themselves, not for selfish reason, not for on bodily platform. They care about us, they think about us. So that is how that human welfare is. Person is hungry, he is given food, his hunger will be satisfied, right? But after some time, what happens? He is hungry again. But if you give them spiritual welfare, like how gurus do, it will go to the root of all the suffering. Not just going by and giving some money to somebody he may use for drugs. If you go and give them clothes, he may use for 1 year. If you give them food, it will be okay for 4 hours. But if you go and give them some spiritual well being, give them some knowledge, give them some advice, like how gurus do, counsel somebody, trying to help somebody to pull them out of misery, that is the root of all material suffering. And then, endeavor to bring about the divine or God consciousness in them, in that soul. Whatever soul he is in completely low, you are bringing up that soul. So that endeavor of reviving God consciousness, that's the highest welfare activity. Of course, you can do roti kapda makan, you can help them, but when we go to 16, 17 chapter, you will see what charity, what kind of charity also we should do. So, if that's the highest welfare activity, to help the person unite with God, that's the highest. That's what Guru does. What does Guru do? Guru helps us to, he is the link between us and the God. That's how he takes our hand and pulls us so that we can go and unite with God and our consciousness gets connected to God. So that is the kind of welfare work these elevated souls they are doing, because they have purified mind. Their mind is purified. They are not thinking about themselves. They are not selfish. They are selfless. So that is why their purified minds are engaged in such kind of welfare activities, where they want all of us to get engaged in the service of the Lord. They want our consciousness to unite with the consciousness above. So Srila Prabhupada, you can see, he was such a divine soul. Because of him, today we are all sitting over here. Our temple president, Namnishta Prabhuji, because of him, we are having Zoom classes. They are doing these welfare activities. They are doing this welfare activity for so many people, all free of charge. They are not demanding, okay, you are attending one Zoom class, okay, one Zoom class costs so and so much. You have to pay some entry fee or whatever. Nothing. Everything for free. Usually anything for free does not have any value. But these gurus, these people, these spiritual beings, these elevated souls, they are, doing such welfare activities. And such welfare activities, what happens, it attracts God's grace. That's why God really graces them, such elevated souls. And then what will happen if he gives us grace? The soul gets elevated above and above, further on that spiritual path. That is why these elevated souls, they're always endeavoring to do some activity for the welfare of human beings, so that we get connected to God, to divine consciousness. And then they also move up along the spiritual path. Finally, when they have achieved the complete purification of the mind, complete surrender to God, they are liberated. Even in this world, they're completely liberated, Atma Ram, in this spiritual realm. And of course, they definitely will go back to God, right? So once they reach this goal, the duties that they are supposed to do, then once they are done, like Srila Prabhupada, they leave their mortal body, because they say, okay, my work is done, my mission is done. So I don't need to, engage in the good of all the beings. I have done whatever I could do. I have engaged everybody. I have tried to develop their consciousness. I have tried to connect them to God. Now my work is done. So Loka Seva is done, So what happens is, to overcome the world, that is not to become otherworldly. It is not that we should evade social responsibilities. It's not that we can go and sit in the Himalayas, but right here, we can sit right here and make our mind, our body, our intellect, everything we can offer it to the, to the Lord. And we can always do some welfare, like Nam Nishta Prabhuji is doing. He has started the Zoom classes. It's a very good welfare, very good objective, right? And he is there, and he is living, he is having that unbroken consciousness towards the divine, the eternal. So the two sides of religion, you can see personal and social. It is very much emphasized over here, right? So after reading this, after understanding this shloka, we may feel, oh my God, how difficult it is. How is it possible for me to get into all these things? How can I do? What can I do? I'm a worldly person. So many activities to do. This seems beyond my scope. I can't do it. For our understanding, Lord Krishna will again and again reaffirm this point in the next shloka. So let us see that. Kama krodha vimuktanam yatinam yatachetasam abhito brahma nirvanam vartate viditatmanam. Yes, please. Who will want to read this? Anyone wants to read? Okay. Those who are free from anger and all material desires, who are self-realized, self-disciplined, and constantly endeavoring for perfection, are assured of liberation in the Supreme in the very near future. Such beautiful shlokas, you know. After hearing this 24, 25 shloka number, we have understood about the various symptoms of the self-realized soul. We may feel like, I don't think I can ever do that. But Lord Krishna is assuring us over here, don't worry. He's saying, don't worry. Each and every one of us can do this. And what is he saying for that? Kama krodha vimuktana. One who can just get free from what? Kama, desire. Krodha, anger. Again and again, he is repeating and repeating the same thing. Get away from desire. Get away from krodha. Kama and krodha are the real enemies. Get away from desire, get away from krodha. And then what is he talking about? Then he talks about a person who is vidit atma. Vidit atmanam means what? Vidit atmanam. Vidit. So one who is self-realized, atmanam. He knows his atma. He is self-realized. And then it is talked about yata chetasam. So yata chetasam is the one who is completely self-disciplined. He whose mind is under control. And yatinam, one who is always trying, working hard, endeavoring for what? Perfection. Then what will happen? Abhito brahma nirvanam vartate. Such a person is what? He is assured of liberation. So in what? Supreme. Brahma nirvanam. When? In the near future. Abhito, abhi ho jayega. When? When will it happen? If you are away from kama, if you are away from krodha, right? And then you are constantly endeavoring and you know your self-realized, in the near future, abhito, you will get Brahma Nirvanam, Supreme. So by doing all this, the person is endeavoring very, very sincerely. Doesn't matter if he has any lofty symptoms or not, but he's very sincere, he's very serious in whatever he's doing. So Lord Krishna is telling that, okay, if you are doing well, working very hard, you're trying your best, that person will attain the Supreme. Beautiful shloka, right? We have got some hope. We can keep trying, chanting, always reading Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita in association of devotees, right? Doing our Ekadashi fasting. So like that, Karma Yoga, you know, it is a safer path. Keep doing your karma as most of the people, most of us are doing, right? It was explained in this chapter, second verse. What did he say? Sannyasa karma yogashcha nishreyasa karavubhav tayostu karma sannyasat karma yogo vishishyate. He said, karma yoga is better, he said, right? So Lord Krishna had told, work in devotional service is better than renunciation. Don't go and sit in Himalayas, work in devotion. So Lord Krishna is very strongly recommending that to Arjuna. Don't run away to the forest, Arjun. You must fight the war. You must do your karma. But offer the results to the God. Surrender to God. But someone is completely detached from the world. Then okay, karma, they have reached that level. Okay, karma sannyas is suitable for them. They can go and they have finished all their responsibilities. Or from the very beginning, maybe last janma, they had done everything. this Janma from the beginning, they are becoming karma sannyas. Okay, there are some. But artificially, if we say, no, I want to detach myself from everything and go away, even in Himalayas, we'll be thinking about gulab jamun and we'll be thinking about parties. So there's no point. So, it is advantageous that there is no diversion of time and energy towards worldly duties. If they take karma sannyas, we are talking about karma sannyas, then they will not be disturbed, right? They've got time and they've got all the time in the world and energy to practice, to practice spirituality. So there are so many sannyasis, Shankaracharya, Madhvacharya, Yamunacharya, so many Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so many sannyasis who were completely renounced, right? So Lord Krishna is telling that such true karma sannyasis, they also make rapid progress. They can also experience peace within themselves everywhere. So how they will achieve? They have to eliminate. Eliminate what? The urge of what? Kama and krodha, desire and anger. And what do they have to do? Subdue their mind, control their mind. Then what will happen? Peace, complete peace, both in this life also and maybe coming after whatever life they get. So sometimes, we are always under this confusion, misconception that, these external circumstances are there. That is why I'm not getting peace of mind. Because of so and so, I'm not getting peace of mind. Because of this situation, I'm not getting mental peace. Because of that, I'm not getting mental peace in my life. No. And then we say, I'm waiting for that day. Situation will be fine. Then I will get peace of mind. This person is going to be very nice to me. I'll get peace of mind. We are under that, misconception. The situation will be conducive, then I'll get peace of mind. It's absolutely wrong, says Lord Krishna here. He is telling very clearly that, peace is not dependent on external situation. It is because it is the product of purified senses, mind and intellect. The moment you purify your senses, mind and intellect, you will get peace of mind. Then you're not blaming anyone anywhere. Anything that happens, will of God. That's it. Do your duty to the best of your ability, leave the result to God. So the sannyasis, their minds, their thoughts are all turned inwards, inside. So we have to also go within ourselves rather than finding peace outside. So what will happen once we go within? These sages, these self-realized souls, they find ocean of peace within. And the moment you find ocean of peace, do you want to come out? Who would want to come out? That's what we are searching for, right? Peace, happiness. And if you find peace, happiness within, will you want to come out? No, they don't care. It's independent of external situation. Situation is very bad outside. They are finding so much happiness within, and they're nicely sitting and they're smiling. They're happening. See how Lord is doing. They're starting, they're thinking how this situation is happening. But internally, they are very, very happy. So because that internal machinery, it is in proper order, complete order. It's not shaking. So they experience the same peace everywhere, wherever they go. And they are completely liberated in this world itself. They don't have to go somewhere to get liberated. And because they have this complete knowledge, they have got complete self-realization. They are shanti, trance, complete trance. You will see these elevated souls. Some people you will come across, they are always shanti. They are in trance, complete trance. So you can see that, it's written in Sanatana Goswami had written, it's there on the screen. Darshana dhyana samsparshair matsya kurma vihangama swani apatyani pushnanti tataham api padmaja. So what does this mean? Darshana, by vision. Dhyana, by meditation. Samsparshair means by touch. Sparsh means touch. What happens? Matsya means fish. Kurma means tortoise, turtle or tortoise. And Vihangama means birds. What do? They maintain their Pushnanti, they maintain their offspring. Similarly, I also do, O Padmaja. So How does the fish bring up its babies or offsprings? You know what they do? Have you ever heard? The fish, they will just look at them. That's it. They don't go touch or do anything. The fish will look at their offspring. That's it. And tortoise, how does it bring up its offspring? Simply meditation. The eggs, you know where the tortoise lay their eggs? On land. And where do they meditate? On the eggs? In the water. They lay their eggs on the land and they go into the water and meditate. Just imagine. Fish, they look. Tortoise, they meditate in the water while they have laid their eggs in the water. Same way, the devotee who is in Krishna consciousness, what does he do? Even though he's far away from the Lord, far away from Lord's abode, Golok Vrindavan is somewhere there, he can still elevate himself to that abode. How? Simply by thinking of him constantly. Constantly that Krishna, 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 Krishna is going on. He's engaged himself in Krishna consciousness so much so that he's actually in his abode in his mind. He is not feeling, oh, I'm getting this misery or that misery. He's not getting those pangs of material miseries. So this state of life, that is what is here called Abhito Brahma Nirvanam. He is, in the near future, he is a complete platform of Brahman, immersed in the Supreme, right? So this is what it means. Let's understand verse 26 in detail. See, by fixed meditation on super soul, one soon attains liberation in the near future. Krishna consciousness person, he is the best. Why? Because he is controlling his senses. What is he doing? He's focusing on the lotus feet of the Lord, right? Which will help him to elevate. So here, the comparison has been given about the tortoise, as I just explained to you in the previous verse. How does it bring its offspring? By meditation. Eggs are laid on the land and tortoise is meditating in the water. Fish, it is only simply looking at the offspring. That's it. Just see in the picture. And birds, how do they maintain? By touching. Same way, devotee also, he can elevate himself by thinking about the Lord and reach the Brahma Nirvana state. So after speaking so much about Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, so Lord Krishna now is going to speak about Ashtanga Yoga in next 2 verses. So Lord will show us, a trailer before he shows us the actual movie in chapter 6. Let's see the trailer now. That is 27 and 28. It's liberation through Ashtanga Yoga. Only 2 verses on Ashtanga Yoga before he shows the whole movie in the next chapter. So practice of Ashtanga Yoga gives the same liberation. So this is verse 27 and 28, the trailer of the next chapter. Sparshan kritva bahil bahyan chakshushchaivantare bhruvo प्राणापानौ समौ कृत्वा नासाभ्यन्तरचारिणौ यतेन्द्रियमनो बुद्धिर्मुनिर्मोक्षपरायणः विगतेच्छभयक्रोधः यः सदा मुक्त एव सः. This is the trailer. Yes, Pratima Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Translation: out all external sense objects, keeping concentrated between the 2 eyebrows, spending the inward and outward breaths within the nostril, and thus controlling the mind, senses, and intelligence. The transcendentalists aiming at liberation become free from desire and anger. One who is always in this state is certainly liberated. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So wonderfully, Lord has spoken about, how to attain the Supreme by working in complete knowledge of the Supreme. So now what Lord is trying to tell us, he is going to talk about Ashtanga Yoga. Actually, the whole of 6th chapter that we are going to do next is about that only, about Ashtanga Yoga only. But what is Lord doing over here? He is trying to bring you know, when before we watch any movie, they show small trailer. Why? So that we become very curious to know what had happened, or we become very eager to watch the movie. Similarly, Lord Krishna also, he is also the same way. He's showing us the trailer so that we become very eager to understand. Oh, really? Oh, this is Ashtanga Yoga. Okay. So what is Ashtanga Yoga in detail? I want to know. And then we turn the next page. So here Lord Krishna is saying, Sparshan Kritva Bahir Bahyan. What does it mean? What is this person over here doing? The one who is practicing Ashtanga Yoga. Basically, the procedure is given over here as to what all he does. So first thing, what is he doing? Sparshan Kritva Bahir Bahyan. So he's shutting all the external sense objects. Number one point, he shuts off all sense objects. Then what does he do? Takshur Chaivantare Bhruvoho. So what is he doing? Takshu means eyes. So he's keeping his eyes, his vision concentrated between the eyebrows. Bhruvo means eyebrows. And then what he does? Prana Panau Samau Kritva. Nyasa Bhyantara Charinam. He's suspending. What is he suspending? Inward and outward. He's suspending the inward and the outward breath here in the nostril. Basically, here he will come and stop. Kumbhak state. We will see all this in the next chapter. In chapter 6, we will be seeing. And then, what is he saying? Yatendriya Mano Buddhir. By doing all this, what is he controlling? Controlling what? Yatendriya, Yata Indriya, Mano, Buddhir. So he is controlling Indriya, that is senses, Mano, that is mind, and Buddhi, intellect. By doing all this, he is trying to control his mind, his intellect, his senses, right? Munir Moksha Parayana. So he's very much desiring. What is he desiring? Liberation, moksha. So he is doing all this endeavor for what? Vigatecha Bhayak Krodho. Vigatecha. Vigatecha Bhayak Krodho means what? Since he's aspiring for liberation, he wants moksha, right? Want to get away from all this. He is also wanting to free himself from what? Ichha. Vigata, Ichha, Bhaya, and Krodha. He wants to get away from Ichha, that is desire, Bhaya, that is fear, Krodha, that is anger. So, yes, sada mukta evasa. So, a person is always in this state is definitely liberated. The person who is able to do all this, he is free, he is liberated. So, we can see these yoga processes that we are discussing, finally, where do they lead us towards? They are also aiming at breaking the cycle of birth and death. So that is the goal of this human life. We have taken this human form of life. If we cannot do this, then we are not doing justice to this human form of life that we have got. It has been gifted to us by Krishna, right? So often many sannyasis are there. They are inclined mostly towards Ashtanga Yoga. Many people, if you see, they are more or less inclined towards Ashtanga Yoga, Hatha Yoga. They have extreme detachment. So because they're extremely detached, they're completely disinterested. They are not into this path of devotion as such. Because devotion means, you know what? We are always taking the names of Lord, forms of Lord, pastimes we are talking about Lord. We are talking about the abodes of Lord. We are talking about the leelas of the Lord. They are not interested into this. They are completely in another zone. So Lord Krishna is describing this path also that many sannyasis take. So he has to tell us, right? So for example, you have to go to America. I will, as an agent, travel agent, what will I tell you? Oh, sir or ma'am, you know what? Singapore Airlines also goes, Thai Airways also goes, Emirates goes, Qatar Airways goes, United Airlines also goes. All these airlines goes. This one has this facility, this one has that facility, this one has, you will get this. So accordingly, you will choose what you want. I may want good seats, I may take one airline. Somebody may want good food, they may want another airline. Some may want maybe good monitors and everything, they may take another airline. Every airline is going to go to USA, for example. So all these airlines will go to USA, but how many hours it will take, and how much layover is there in another airport, so many factors. but choices are always given, because not everybody is unique. I may be different from you. I may have a different choice. So similarly, Lord Krishna is giving us different choices. So many people, ascetics are there. What do? They shut out the thoughts of sense objects by they control their sight, they control their breath. It's very hard. It's not easy. It's a lot of hardship, and they are focusing their gaze towards the eyebrows. If I close my eyes, either I will sleep or I will be thinking something else. Within 1 second, maybe 1 second, I may be able to gaze at my eyebrows. Third second, I will be going somewhere else. So it is not that easy. That's a lot of hard work. That is why we have taken the path of devotion, the path of Krishna consciousness here, where devotional service is there. If the eyes are fully closed, I will close my eyes. I may sleep. And if they're wide open, I may get distracted, right? That may happen. So it's not that easy, because there's so many objects around us, we may get distracted. So in order to avoid both opening the eyes and closing the eyes, what do? These sannyasis, ascetics, they have eyes half open, not completely closed, not completely open. And they are gazing at the tip of their nose and between their eyebrows. So all the time, like that. Not easy. You can try that. So when one is very well situated in devotional service, we come to that transcendental position. We feel qualified to be in God's presence, right? So that's actually called liberation in the Supreme. And after working so hard and after giving this trailer, explaining these principles of liberation in the Supreme, Lord is telling Arjuna also how one can come to that position by practicing Ashtanga Yoga. It's not so easy. You have to practice Ashtanga Yoga. You have Yama, Niyama, Asana. Yama means you will have all those discipline, control. Niyam, you have to follow many disciplines. Then you have to sit on proper asana. The asana has to be neither too high nor too low. Then you have to do the pranayama, the breath thing. Pratyahara, you have to go within. Dharana, focus, and dhyana, and then you go to samadhi. So it's not so easy to gain that, because you have yama, niyama, asana, all these things. And in 6th chapter, this subject of yoga is very, very in detail explained by Lord Krishna. And this is just a trailer Lord Krishna gave, So why? Because he says that these sannyasis, they're able to, those are elevated, they're able to control the senses, their mind and their intellect. And, such persons, then what is their aim? What is their goal of life? Moksha. Moksha parayana. Yatendriya manobuddhir munir moksha parayana. Their goal is to get liberated. That's the only goal. And then what are they doing? They are harmonizing the prana, the outgoing breath, with apana, prana and apana, with incoming breath, until both get suspended in yogic trance. You have to wait for some time without breathing, and you have to stay there in trance. So these verses are, it's not easy. So let's understand the flow chart at least. So this is the introduction to Ashtanga Yoga, 27 and 28. 8 steps are there in Ashtanga Yoga. We will be covering in next chapter also. This is a trailer, as I said. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi. And how to perform Ashtanga Yoga, as Lord Krishna had explained. They are half shut eyes, focus on in the middle of the brows. And how does it help? It makes us free from Vita, Raga, Bhaya, Krodha, like fear, desire, anger, everything is gone. It makes us become like that. And we are able to control the senses, the mind, the intellect, yes. And then slowly you feel the presence of Supreme Soul within. So person generally thinks spirituality to be inaction. Sitting somewhere in the forest to be more spiritual than working in karma yoga. Lord Krishna is making this point that there is no difference between karma yoga and ashtanga yoga. There also you are doing something. It's not that you are not doing. There is no inaction. You are doing something. Your breathing also is action only. So, but Lord Krishna says, Krishna consciousness easiest form. Why? Because you are engaged in devotional service. You are not doing hard work over there. You are not trying to risk. Will I be able to focus? Oh, I'm not able to focus. Oh Lord, my mind is running towards that side. My mind is running towards my friends. My mind is running towards my mobile. What message did I get on my mobile? Mind is running over there. Oh God, how to control? How to control? So devotional service is better because you are able to control your senses by devoting your time for Krishna. You're plucking flowers for Krishna. You're bringing water for Krishna. You are arranging stuff for Krishna. You are teaching for Krishna. You are listening about Krishna. Everything about Krishna. So realization in Krishna consciousness, we immediately understand the spiritual position. We understand Supreme Lord is the topmost, and by this we understand through the devotional activity, and we are qualified to feel the presence of the Lord. So this is again overview of Ashtanga Yoga. Yama means ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, apigraha. Means we should not hurt anybody, we should not lie, we should not steal, control our senses, and we should not be having a possessive attitude. This is mine, this is mine. You should be totally detached. Then there will be niyama, shaucha, santosha, tapas, swadhyay, ishvara, pranidha. Means you should be pure, you should be satisfied and content. Complete austerity is required. You need to keep studying all the Vedas or books or spiritual scriptures. Ishwar Pranidhana means you have to surrender to the Lord. Then, of course, there is asana, which means poses, different poses you have to do. Pranayama means controlling of your vital force of breath. Prana, apana, samana, udana, and dhyana. Pratyahara means you have to withdraw your senses within. Dharana means you have to focus your mind or concentrate. Dhyana is meditation, and samadhi means spiritual absorption. So this is what is Ashtanga Yoga, Patanjali Yoga system. So Kriya Yoga, that's the active aspect of yoga. The Patanjali Yoga Sutras, they say, right? The 3 types of Kriya, they say. You have to be asceticism, then you have to have recitation, and then you have to devote your time to Ishvara. So we come to the last section. A person in full Krishna consciousness attains liberation from the pangs of material misery. So before we end the chapter, one last shloka. This is a very, very important section. That is why it is called the greatest peace formula. Whoever is searching peace in this world, who wants to be satisfied all the time, for them, the Lord is giving the answer in shloka number 29. भोक्तारं यज्ञतपसां सर्वलोकमहेश्वरं सुहृदं सर्वभूतानां ज्ञात्वा मां शान्तिमृच्छति. Yes, Pratima Mataji, would you like to read?
Yeah. Okay. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate.
The sage is knowing me as the ultimate purpose. Are you able to see verse 29?
Hang on, this is, yeah, I have a different version on Veda base. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, it is 29, and it says, ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the Supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material misery.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
So what is it said over here? Jnatva mam. Jnatva mam means a person who knows the Supreme Lord. Jnatva means who knows Supreme Lord. As what? Bhoktaram yajna tapasam. One who is the beneficiary of all the sacrifices. Yajna, sacrifices. And tapasa. Tapasam means austerities. we know that Lord is the beneficiary for all this. He is Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He is the supreme Lord of what? Sarvaloka. Sarvaloka, of all planets, all universes. Is Maheshwara. Maheshwara of all the Devis, all the Devatas. He is the one. So Hurdam Sarva Bhutanam. He is the well-wisher of all the living. So Hurdam, well-wisher, Sarva Bhutanam, all the living entities. Then Yatva Mam Shantim Richati. Whoever understands this in Tattva or in the truth, such a person, Shanti Richati, means he will attain peace. From what? From all these problems around our world, that is, all around our world, pangs of material miseries. So this is peace formula. It is called peace formula. So the sadhana has been explained, right? Ashtanga Yoga, in previous 2 verses, it has been explained. Where does it lead to? It leads to Atma Jnana, means we come to understand our own self. But Brahma Jnana, knowledge of the Lord, that requires God's grace. Even if I'm doing Ashtanga Yoga for 20 plus, 30 plus, 50 plus years, unless and until I get the grace of God, I won't get it. I may get Atma Jnana, knowledge of myself. But Brahma Jnana, that is knowledge of God, can only be attained if God graces. And it will come through devotion. Anything you take, you have to put devotion there. So that is why words Sarva Loka Maheshwaram means he is the sovereign Lord of all the worlds. And Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam, he is the benevolent and merciful and very kind well-wisher of all the human beings. That is why in this way Lord is emphasizing that ascetic path or sannyasi path, that also once it's completed, once he surrenders to God, it is completed only once he surrenders to God. And with the knowledge of Supreme Lord, that he is Bhoktaram Yagitapasam, he is Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, he is Suhurdam Sarvabhutanam, then only he will get. So even though you are doing all the austerities, all the sacrifices, but once you know that these austerities and this everything, the enjoyer is Lord, then your meditation is complete. So the system of yoga that gets completed only when bhakti is included. That's what. So in this song of God or Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna very beautifully is include, different genuine paths of spiritual practice. I'm giving you so many options. People take it, whatever you like. But each time, in the end, he is adding something. What is he saying? He qualifies them by stating that you will get success. You can take this path. Very good. Come on, take it. But it also requires bhakti. In the end, he will add somewhere. So Srila Prabhupada also writes, that following the footsteps of Ma Yashoda, he writes in Bhagavatam actually, or in, Bhagavatam he had written, that everyone should follow that mentality of renunciation as Ma Yashoda. Because Ma Yashoda had said, I am not the owner of any of the possessions. She was Nand Maharaj's wife, opulent wife of Nand Maharaj. And she's saying, I am not the, owner of any of the possessions. These estate, this farmland, these cows, these farm, everything. All these gopis, cowherds who are working from me, all are given to me. So we should also give up and stop thinking these are mine, this is mine, this is my son, my husband, my wife, So that moha, this is mama, mameti, that moha has to go away. Nothing belongs to anyone but Lord, because he is Bhoktaram Yagitapasam. So nothing belongs to anyone but Supreme Lord. We have to keep on saying this word again and again. Then we will remember what Brahma had said in Brahma Samhita, right? About Lord Krishna. What did he say? Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradi Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. Right? That's the peace formula. Different. So that's how Lord Krishna ends the topic about the devotion. Right? He says in 6th chapter also, he says in the end, tapasvibhyodiko yogi jnanibhyopi madodikaha karmibhyashtadiko yogi tasmad yogi bhavarjuna. A yogi is greater than a sannyasi, ascetic. He is greater than empirist, the Jnani, and he is greater than all the karma yogis also. Krishna says to Arjuna, in all circumstances, you be a yogi. Because yogina amapi sarvekam madgatena antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamo mataha. Of all yogis, who has that faith, shraddha, he's always thinking of me, he's abiding in me, he's doing all the devotional service to me. He is intimately united to me in yoga. He is highest. That's my opinion, says Lord Krishna. So there are different in different shlokas. He has many shlokas he has told about all this. In 11th chapter he had told, and so many chapter, 18th chapter also he said. In the end also he said, Bhaktya mamabhijanati yamanyashtasmi tatvatah tato mam tatvato jnatva vishate tadanantaram. Once you understand, I am the Supreme, I am Bhoktaram, I am Yajnitapisam, I am Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, I am everything. The one who understands in full consciousness, completely devoted to me, he can enter my abode. So nice, right? So we have to understand that he is everything for us. He is Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, but we are misusing our independence and getting entangled over here. So we should get away from all this entanglement and think that Lord is the Supreme. He is Govinda. He is Supreme Head. So this is the peace formula. Bhoktaram Yagitapasam. He is the beneficiary. Suhrudam Sarvabhutanam. He is well-wisher of all living entities. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He is the proprietor of all the planets and demon gods. So if we know God, we will know peace. If we know God, then there will be no peace. So the life lesson is that we think that we are thinking, we are enjoying everything. But if we think that we are the enjoyer, then it will again tie us to the cycle of birth and death, action and reaction, right? So Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, no one is greater than him. He is the greatest. We start thinking, somebody praises us and we think we are the Supreme Lord. We are the proprietor. I am the proprietor of this whole house, of all this. We are temporary owners. He is the one who is the permanent owner. Suhurdam Sarva Bhutanam. He is our best friend. So you should sit in front of God and talk to him. Tell him whatever your problems are, whatever difficulties are coming in your life. Talk to him. Sit in front of him because he is our well-wisher. He knows what is best for us. He is our benefactor. So he knows we should talk to him. So everyone is Krishna's friend, right? Everyone is Krishna's friend. So how can someone be our enemy? There is no one greater than Krishna, no one greater than him. So we have to understand that point. The moment we understand that no one is greater than him, we will completely be in peace. So that is why this is called the biggest peace formula. And with this, we end the chapter. कृपा सिंधुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः। ओम तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुन संवादे कर्म संन्यास योगो नाम पंचमोऽध्यायः। श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु। सर्वं श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु. In the next chapter, Lord Krishna is going to explain about the trailer that he gave. He is going to tell us about the movie. He will show us the movie about Ashtanga Yoga, eightfold yoga system, which means how we can control the mind and senses by Ashtanga Yoga. Thank you so much for patiently hearing.